Hi, my name is Christina Chong, and I'm at ComicsOnline.
Christina, thank you so much for sharing your time with me at Star Trek Chicago. We're excited to celebrate the world of Trek with you and everything you guys have accomplished on Strange New Worlds.
Oh, thank you. Great to be here.
So we had connected last season on social media, getting to talk about the reviews, but I've loved everything you guys accomplished from the musical episode, and just really the arc of Season 2 was incredible. Your episodes with Kirk in particular were some of my favorites.
Oh, thank you.
I would love to start there, of just getting to film. It was a little bit more of a bottle episode earlier on in the season, but what was it like taking the alternate universe to Trek and putting it into Strange New Worlds?
I mean, that was so much fun, that episode, because La'an not only gets to relax a little bit and becomes a more softer version of herself, I also got to film outside in Toronto in some very cool locations, albeit freezing locations, and work with Paul Wesley, who I absolutely love working with. He's so much fun, and we had an absolute ball. I think I don't even think there was one scene where we weren't hysterically laughing before the take, to the point where the casting and the other crew were like, okay, this is awkward now, you guys need to stop laughing. So it was an absolute ball.
The dynamics between you two absolutely came across beautifully on screen. The chemistry was very very clear. But getting to film something a little bit outside the norm, you have beautiful sets that you work with on a regular basis with Strange New Worlds. But was it a very different experience for Trek, specifically getting to do the location shooting for that type of story versus your daily adventures out of the universe?
Yeah, I mean, it just felt more normal, like a normal drama. It didn't feel so Trekky. That's the only main difference for me personally, and yeah, it was having the whole episode as well. Every single scene I was in, and I've never done that before, so that was a challenge in itself.
Well, let's talk about music. I know you love music, and I want to talk about your music in particular in a minute, but let's talk about Subspace Rhapsody. Can you share any stories about filming that episode in particular?
For me, it was very much my whole career coming 360, because I started in musical theatre, and I started in a musical called Aida. It was written by Elton John and Tim Rice, and I sung it in German. And years ago, my first professional job out of performing arts school. And then after that show, I figured I don't want to play ensemble. I want to play leads, but I don't want to work my way up to doing that in theatre. I'm going to go and I'm going to get into TV and film, build my profile up, and then I'll go back into musicals. And it was always a dream to do a film version of a musical and an original musical. And so I guess the dream kind of was always there, but kind of left the forefront of my mind. And little did I know Star Trek would be the job to bring my dream to life. And so I started getting back into singing and working on my voice with a vocal coach. And then when we started rehearsing, it was Elaine Overholt, our singing coach for the show. She and I were, got on really well, and she really gave me confidence with my voice again, because I hadn't used it properly for years. And she was friends with the musical director, Paul Bogave, of Aida, that I worked with. So it was so weird, like how the two worlds had suddenly collided. And she's the one who gave me the confidence to start doing my own music. And after that season wrapped, I thought I'll go home to London and I'll just put the energy out into the universe and see what happens. And I very serendipitously got put in touch with Ed Sheeran's producer. Jake Gosling did Ed Sheeran's first few albums and became successful with Ed Sheeran. And he offered to do my EP for free and gave me a record deal with his indie label. And I was like, oh my God, that's my dream come true. And now I don't ever see myself not doing music because of that. So yeah, it was a very special moment. And when Akiva told me, because they all knew that I wanted to do a musical because I kept banging on about it to anyone who would listen. And so we had this cast dinner. It was the cast and the writers, actually, and Akiva. And I was late to the dinner. And when I walked in, he called me over to sit next to him. And he's like, guess what, kid? I was like, what? We're doing your musical. I was like, what? And I literally had tears in my eyes because it was just, amazing.
And the fact that they wove a story that allowed the music to exist and not really step out of the character, step out of the universe, it really complemented everything you guys had already built.
Yeah.
I felt like that made it even more special.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing with a musical. You have to have a reason to do the musical, right? Otherwise, it doesn't really work. And not only did they have that, they also progressed every character's arc through song. So, and that's testament to our composer, Tom Polche, who, very cleverly did that in a very short amount of time. Well, what I think is a short amount of time anyway, but he pulled it off.
Which song gets stuck in your head the most?
I would say probably I'm Ready. It's like the catchiest one, I think. Yeah.
That's the one that gets me every time, too.
Yeah.
But even just the opening of Why Are We Singing, I think was a brilliant way to move the audience into a musical adventure with Star Trek.
Yeah, absolutely,
So let's talk about your music. I absolutely loved your release.
Thank you.
Any other music that you can share you have coming up?
So I'm working on my album right now between LA and Nashville. Have some really cool collaborations, and I'm also collaborating with the cast as well. So I've got Celia, Jess, and Melissa in on a track. Ethan's in on a track. Anson's agreed to do one. But that will probably be maybe a more country vibes. So probably something we'll do in Nashville. I'm just writing as much as possible, and then I'll collate everything and figure out the album with Jake. Jake's also producing. So I'm really excited for that. It'll be different to what I've done already, slightly different. I just have so much fun doing it. It's kind of like a hobby, but a passionate hobby that I get to do. I feel very lucky that I have the time in between seasons to experiment and play.
And you guys have wrapped filming for season 3, correct?
Yeah, we finished that end of May, and then we don't go back for season 4 until March next year, so still got a few months off.